Part 423. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 4221. Temporarily, there is only such a chance. If it is wasted, it will be a drag on the overall situation. Fang Fan groaned, his eyes flickered, and he thought to himself, and his thoughts gradually floated in his mind. For a moment, Fang Fan couldn't help but let out a breath of foul air. I always feel, my thoughts are a little confused. I have been in this kind of consciousness all the time, and I can't grasp it. It's still the multiple choice question from before. Well, from the beginning to the end, it has never changed. This thing is too real. The corner of Fang Fan's mouth twitched, and he couldn't help sighing. Gothic Gatling Legion, invincible in large-scale battles. Blood Shuro Legion, at the critical moment, use the Legion's exclusive skills to increase the combat power by 2 levels, but only one of the 7 Blood Shuras can be combined, and it can only last for 10 minutes. Dragon Legion, at the critical moment, use the Legion's exclusive skills to increase its combat power by 1 level. At that time, it will be able to have 18 combat powers 1 level higher. Last for 1 hour. Now I am in Tianyuan Hall. In the Tianyuan Palace, what I need to care about the most is the Tianyuan Palace Master Bayan. And this guy is in the quasi-god realm. Although he is only in the Shenhuo quasi-god realm, he is also a quasi-god. During this time, the layout and everything have been opened. Fang Fan's eyebrows twitched, thinking to himself, his eyes flickered to the extreme. It is said that there is too much difference between the quasi-god realm and the false god realm. In this way, this time we can only win the Blood Shuro Legion. Elevate the Blood Shuro Legion from the 7-star pseudo-god realm to the 8-star pseudo-god realm. At a critical moment, choose to promote it in an all-round way. This is indeed a way. As long as you can grasp it well, it may not be impossible. The key here is scale. If you don't grasp it well, you still have to pull your hips. Life is impermanent, what is the final experience like? Some can't understand. Once the Blood Shuro Legion is promoted to the 8-star pseudo-god realm, then after using the Legion's exclusive skill Sura Unity, they will be able to directly possess quasi-god realm combat power. At that time, with the help of Nai Yan's magical skill Battle Control, it will be easy to control all the rhythms. Fang Fan took a deep breath, his eyes flickered with brilliance, and after thinking about it, he felt that it was very unusual. Those who should come will follow. This wave is really exciting. Fang Fan clenched his fists, thinking to himself, his consciousness vacated completely. Those who should come will always follow. This wave, everything, is in place. Choose to be promoted to the 7-star pseudo-god realm Blood Shuro Legion. Ding. Consumed 120 billion ordinary belief beads and successfully purchased 120 billion god-level promotion cards. The 7-star pseudo-god realm Blood Shuro Legion successfully promoted to the 8-star pseudo-god realm. A big improvement. The sense of anticipation in his eyes grew stronger. For a moment, silently followed the perception, silently followed the body odor, the smile on the corner of the mouth remained the same. In this way, gradually promote, there will always be some different surprises. This wave is as stable as Mount Tai. That being the case, what is there to fear? Just hold on. It's all done. Now it's time to get to know Bayan, the master of Tianyuan Palace. He. Didn't this guy want to kill me a long time ago? Now, is an opportunity. Fang Fan stretched his waist, the corner of his mouth was still smiling. So respectful, deeply touched. In the main hall of Tianyuan Hall. At this moment, the 7 palace masters who suffered a huge loss are still pointing at the nose of the Tianyuan Palace Master Bayan and cursing. There is nothing to be afraid of when there are many people. Anyway, in the final analysis, isn't it still the owner of the Tianyuan Palace, Bayan, who is at fault? If it wasn't for his wrongdoing, why didn't he dare to say a word until now? Still so timid from the beginning to the end. It looks very sandy. This wave, the more I watched, the more angry I became. Gradually, it became impossible to experience two at all. Panting, black lines flickered on his forehead. My brain, buzzing and trembling. For a moment, he was completely speechless. That tangled feeling is the most uncomfortable. Okay. Is it noisy enough? Have you had enough trouble? Ah. Can you still follow the silence? What do you want? What do you want? Does it have to be a storm all over the city to be comfortable? Ah. One by one, what do you think in your head? Brains are a good thing. But you must have them. The master of this hall has already said that. You tell me these are useless. It is useless at all, it will only waste time. If you are capable, find that Fang Fan. As long as you can find him, the master of this hall will be able to make decisions for you and return all the beads of faith and treasures for you. Now I can't even see a person, what do you want me to do? Ah. Can the master of this hall still fabricate a few people out of thin air for you? I've told you so much, do you really know? Do you really understand? Call. I'm shaking with anger right now. The words have been made clear now, find Fang Fan. The master of this hall will solve the shortage of faith beads and treasures for you. Bayan, the lord of Tianyuan Hall, waved his hand, speaking outrightly. Anyway, from his point of view, it is impossible to solve it, afraid of a hammer. Does Lord Bayan want me to come out so enthusiastically? At this time, Fang Fan showed up. After a long wait, it came out, which is quite interesting. Who are you? Dare to speak nonsense. Bayan, the master of Tianyuan Hall, frowned, his expression was unpredictable, and he said unhappily for a while. Who am I? Doesn't the master of the palace know? Didn't the master of the palace keep calling me by my name just now? Fang Fan shrugged and teased. The complexion of Bayan, the master of Tianyuan Hall, changed suddenly. Are you Fang Fan? Are you that Fang Fan? What a guts! Where is this place? How dare you come here? Crazy. I think you are really crazy. Chichishasha, not just a little bit of chichishasha. The cold snort swept across the room, and his expression was extremely sinister. For a while, there was a sense of overwhelming. Immediately, it was inexplicably stressful. The picture in front of me flickered, and then I couldn't control my mood and rhythm at all. Messed up. Broken and numb. Life is impermanent, the last experience consciousness is so real. Almost, that's how it feels. I understand everything. If you don't understand, it doesn't make any sense to talk nonsense. I know, aren't the three big characters in Tianyuan Hall very big? Fang Fan yawned. He was sitting firmly on the Diaotai, so he didn't panic at all. After taking down Tianyuan Temple, the second phase of the task of Grand Plan Overlord will be completed. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 4222. What a guts! Heaven has a way, you don't go, hell has no way, you break in. Hee hee. I really don't know how to describe you. What stuff is stuffed in your head? I was worrying about not knowing where I could see you. I didn't expect you to come to the door by yourself. Good. Also good. If that's the case, let's end you here. Death is a kind of wool. Die. The posture of gnashing teeth is fully displayed, and the depths of the eyes are shining brightly. Bayan, the master of Tianyuan Hall, was both excited and excited. Of course, at this moment, Something feels wrong to some extent, so, his expression suddenly changed. But soon, he put all these worries aside. Will there be an accident? Won't. Impossible. This Fang Fan, what kind of thing is it? His combat power may be able to destroy a mansion, but this is Tianyuan Hall. What can he do to Tianyuan Hall? And his cultivation base, is just a mere 4-star pseudo-god realm? Those people under his hand looked over at a glance, and they all stretched their hips. It's amazing, isn't it, the 8-star pseudo-god realm? This, scary. Master Diao Zheng of Yugzu Mansion. Asshole. Why are you standing behind that traitor? What happened to you? Bayan, the lord of Tianyuan Hall, changed his face, and then scolded him. Batuze, what has all this become? Bellows, involved here? In minutes, it will kill you directly. Damn thing. I was shaking with anger. At this moment, his eyes flickered, his teeth chattered, and his will gradually fluttered. Life is impermanent, why talk about those fancy words? Pointless, pointless. All this hateful thing. My lord, I have surrendered to Master Fang Fan, and Fang Fan is now my master. I've already disassociated myself from Tianyuan Temple, you don't have the right to speak to me like that. I, Diao Zheng, only need to bear the master's will. Diao Zheng, the head of the Yugzu mansion, held his head high, his whole body's sense of arrogance was revealed. While talking at the moment, his complexion flickered to the extreme. This kind of mood, this feeling, is completely vivid. From the purest will, naturally there is nothing to say. To be honest, everyone has spoken in place. You. Asshole. Treason. After a while, you will definitely die. Bayan, the master of Tianyuan Hall, had a gloomy face and began to speak big words. Immediately, Bayan, the master of Tianyuan Hall, focused his attention on Fang Fan again. You don't think you can do anything to me with this trash, do you? Hee. If you really think so, it can only show your stupidity, your ultimate stupidity. Although this guy is in the 9-star pseudo-god realm, as long as I want to, I can kill him within 10 strokes. Masters. Didn't you all complain about being robbed of faith beads and treasures by this Fang Fan? Now he has appeared, revenge with revenge. Revenge with resentment. Come on like this. Don't wait here. Just, let's do it. What's the matter with hesitating? Humph. There will definitely be no achievements in the future. It's a man. It's an explosion. Fight. 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 Bloody battle to the end. What's so scary? Get restless. Get restless. Hesteri's roar followed, and Bayan, the master of Tianyuan Hall, raised his hands high while roaring, his expression extremely messy. For a moment, the footsteps were vain and thrusting. Put Fang Fan to death. Take back the treasure. Go. It's really effortless to find nowhere to go through the iron shoes. It's cool. It's so cool. I can't take it anymore, I'm so surprised. Speed, speed up, keep going. My chance, this is my chance. No one can compete with me. Tut. Tisk tisk. I'm shaking all over my body now. This wave took off. At this moment, there is nothing to be afraid of. Continue to the end. Sprint. Sprint. These palace masters led the people under their hands, rushing forward with extreme excitement. My lord. A group of legionnaires couldn't hold back. Especially the Blood Shuro Legion. Now the Blood Shuro Legion exists in the 8-star pseudo-god realm. The 7 palace masters in front of him glanced over, and there was only a 9-star false god. And now this 9-star false god has been dragged back by Diao Zheng, the master of Yugzu Mansion, who surrendered. The rest, to be honest, directly started one after another of random killings. What surprises will happen here? Impossible, absolutely impossible. Where did so many surprises come from? Isn't the situation here? At a glance, it is indifferent. When those palace masters were slaughtered one by one, they were terrified. Corpses collapsed one after another around. The existences of the 7-star pseudo-god level and below are actually the most miserable. They were beaten by a wave of slings, and they had no power to fight back. Looking at the past, his eyes were blank, and the corners of his mouth twitched, but he couldn't say a word. This time, willpower collapsed. Rhythm collapsed. How can this be said? Many words, completely collapsed. It seems that you still have some strength. That's right, if you don't have some self-confidence, how dare you reinstall it directly? But if you think that you can be completely stable like Mount Tai, then you are too stupid, and you can even be said to be stupid. Extremely stupid. A dead end. Let you feel the gap between the quasi-god realm and the pseudo-god realm. Die. Bayan, the master of Tianyuan Hall, roared, and the surrounding area trembled for 3 minutes. For a moment, his eyes were blank, and he didn't know what to say at this moment. His face was numb, his expression was abrupt, and black lines flickered on his forehead. For a moment, he was suddenly confused. The taste here is not so pleasant, but it seems hesitant. The more I think about it, the worse it gets. This time, while shaking his head, while feeling carefully, the picture in front of him seemed to be unraveled bit by bit. Gradually, something was saved. Boom. More than a dozen legion soldiers of the 7-star pseudo-god realm retreated directly, as if they were seriously injured. After all, Bayan, the lord of Tianyuan Hall, is in the quasi-divine realm. Once this combat power is unleashed, he is indeed quite strong. Just like it is now, it is inexplicably bright. Staring silently, watching silently, immediately, thoughts fluttered, and the rhythm was restrained. Rehu. It's your turn for the Blood Shura Legion to appear. Nyan, be ready at any time and release the magical skill battle control. Fang Fan narrowed his eyes, and then stood aside and said vigilantly. All is ready except for the opportunity. Now Bayan, the lord of Tianyuan Palace, has come to his door, there is no reason not to mess with him. At this point, just beat him to death. After killing Bayan, the master of Tianyuan Hall, this chaos will almost come to an end. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shuyu. Chapter 4223. The battle has begun. As soon as the Blood Shura Legion appeared on the stage, they immediately used the Legion's exclusive skill Legion Unity. Suddenly, the combat power soared. From the 8-star pseudo-god realm, it was directly promoted to the demigod realm. It's hard to tell if it's really a demigod realm or a godhead demigod realm. I always feel that there is still a little gap between them. But virtually, the gap doesn't seem to be that big. Thinking about it carefully, it's kind of weird. Whoosh. After the Blood Shura Legion performed the Legion's exclusive skill Legion Unity, it instantly completed a gorgeous transformation. All of a sudden, the combat power and so on also exploded in place. This feeling, this taste, naturally exploded. Stimulate. Very exciting. The Blood Shura of the 7-8-star pseudo-god realm became the ultimate Blood Shura body of the quasi-god realm. At this moment, Bayan, the lord of the Tianyuan Palace, naturally also saw such a change, and his eyes immediately became sluggish. How so? Suddenly, exploded. That's it? This experience, is too unreal. Silently stroking, and then the whole person collapsed. The eyes were in place, and immediately devastated. What's the situation? What kind of monster is this? Why did it suddenly become so much stronger? Bayan, the master of Tianyuan Hall, frowned, opened his mouth at this moment, and his lips trembled involuntarily. For a moment, my thoughts were messed up and I had nothing to say. So numb. So far-fetched. This feeling is really bad experience. How can you still play like this? Even if it's a little stubborn, who the hell can bear to be so involved all the time? Mentality suddenly exploded. Should it be the end of a silver gun candle? Humph. Such a sudden increase in combat power cannot be too strong. Generally, they are the hottest existence in the same rank. So although it seems that this monster possesses the combat power of the demigod realm, it must also be at the bottom of the demigod realm. So what am I afraid of? I'm afraid of this. Oh. A joke. It's really a joke. This wave will directly suppress you, let's see how stubborn he is in the end. Dead. All dead. Just kill it. It's just courting death. A murmuring sound followed, and the corners of his mouth rose wildly. Bayan, the master of Tianyuan Hall, seemed very confident. He felt that if he relied on his own ability to control the overall situation, there would be no problem. Who dares to compete with it? Boom. Bayan, the lord of Tianyuan Hall, and the ultimate blood shura fight together. Then the first round started. Both of them retreated more than 10 steps, which seemed to be the same situation. So smart. Bayan, the master of Tianyuan Hall, frowned, looking a little surprised at the moment. This is somewhat different from what I expected. After thinking about it, it gradually became more complicated. At this moment, I pursed my lips, and gradually, I couldn't speak at all, and I couldn't feel it. After thinking about it, feeling deeply, and experiencing it silently, for a while, everything that feels like follows. Call. Sudden emotion, profound thoughts. After thinking about it, I feel that something is not quite right. But it's nothing. This monster is at best a tie with me. In this case, I have nothing to fear. Because this monster must have been improved by some special taboo secret method. Under normal circumstances, such an improvement cannot last for a long time. Maybe when this thing will be cold. Since that's the case, I should be more indifferent. The mentality is broken, basically the problem is not big. Tisk. Interesting. Really interesting. The voice of emotion is in place, the eyes flicker, and the smile remains the same. Almost laughed out loud. Bayan, the master of Tianyuan Hall, suddenly felt a lot more relaxed. Fang Fan. I have to admit that your presence does make me feel a little stressed, and it also makes me feel a little surprised. Indeed, you deserve to be my opponent. But that's all. You can't have a stronger achievement. It's over. If you continue to hide, it will be really difficult to find you. I don't know how to deal with you by then. But you are stupid. You just want to expose yourself. Tisk. In this case, isn't it a dead end? Since that's the case, don't follow along with emotion. Desperate journey is about to start. Die. Everyone die. See. The posture of gnashing teeth is displayed in place, and there is an infinite desire to suppress in the eyes. Bayan, the master of Tianyuan Hall, really wants to solve the current chaos. The existence of Fang Fan caused chaos in the entire Tianyuan Hall. In the entire Tianyuan Hall, there are only 10 mansions in total. But now, take a closer look, these 10 mansions are actually linked together? Then it was all broken. This shit is about to become something. This thing is really a bit of a sand sculpture. The experience is in place, and there is no life. For Bayan, the master of Tianyuan Hall, he felt that this was a great shame for him. Now he has to rely on his own efforts to turn things around. Then put an end to all these humiliations. Anyway, I really can't stand it. The more I think about it, the more uncomfortable I get. Damn thing. It's all dog stuff. Is it? Are you so confident now? Okay, let's finally experience the feeling of self-confidence. Because soon, you won't be able to experience it. Fang Fan shook his head and murmured to himself. While speaking, the corners of his mouth slightly raised, feeling that he was in place suddenly. Suddenly, the picture in front of him changed abruptly. Moment of youth. Be completely ignited at this moment. For a while, where else do I need to say? All consciousness ends here. Boom. It exploded directly. Control the battle. Na Yan complied with the order and silently used the divine skill battle control. At this moment, the Blood Shura ultimate body has doubled its combat power, while Bayan, the master of Tianyuan Hall, has instantly reduced his combat power by half. Repeatedly, it is 4 times the combat power. Originally, the combat power of the two was about the same, but now the difference is too much. For example, originally 2 fists could punch with a force of 100 caddies, but now one can punch 200 caddies, and the other can only punch 50 caddies. How is this going to compete? Isn't going up to die? At a glance, there is no hope at all. Roar. The Blood Shura ultimate body let out a sound like the neighing of a wild beast, and immediately, bang. Once again collided with Bayan, the master of Tianyuan Hall. This time it wasn't an even split, but ended with the complete defeat of Bayan, the master of Tianyuan Hall. Bayan, the master of Tianyuan Hall, fell from a high altitude, and then fell heavily on the ground. The experience was extremely bad. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 4224. Bayan, the master of Tianyuan Hall, stared wide-eyed, full of disbelief. How so? How did he become so hip now? Impermanence of life. What the hell am I? My mind exploded. This wave is completely out of control. Consciousness or something, collapse here. Witchcraft. It's all witchcraft. Fake. It's all fake. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Impossible. Impossible. So powerful, impossible. There is a big problem. The master of this hall must be in an illusion. Fake. It's all fake. Bayan, the master of Tianyuan Hall, could not accept the reality at this moment. For a moment, the whole person felt a little crazy. It is human nature not to want to accept this reality. It felt like it exploded all of a sudden. At this moment, the ultimate body of Blood Shura came again. It is also in the quasi-god realm, but under the full impetus of the divine skill battle control, this wave immediately follows a comprehensive change. The difference in combat power can easily be quadrupled. Who can stand this? As soon as you went up, you were directly suppressed. One can imagine how intense that feeling was. For a moment, my thoughts were messed up and I had nothing to say. The Blood Shura ultimate body once again launched an attack on Bayan, the master of the Tianyuan Palace. Anyway, it's only a few minutes for the Legion's exclusive skills to last. If you miss it, it will not be so easy to suppress this guy again. So at this moment, the Blood Shura ultimate body cannot slack off in the slightest. Just do your best to fight to the end. Just like now, how can you control it if you are killed cleanly and instantly cracked? Gradually, the whole person was dumbfounded. All of a sudden, the messy moment. No, do not want. Go away. Go away. Don't come here. Don't come here. I'm going to show off. Ah. Do not. Why? Why are you so strong? I don't agree. I'm not convinced. Damn it. Damn it. I am the Lord of Tianyuan Hall. Who dares to fight with me? You bastards. You are really crazy. You don't even know what fear is. Roll. Hesteri's roar followed, and his eyes gradually turned blood red. For a moment, the feeling of vomiting suddenly came into place, and his mentality burst instantly. Immediately, he kept shaking his body, shaking all over his body. Life is impermanent, the large intestine wraps the small intestine. So exciting. Crazy. This wave is really going crazy. Dizzy, bursts of desire to vomit attack. Horrible. The more I think about it, the more terrifying it becomes. Damn thing. It's all humming dog stuff. Roll. Get out. Get the hell out of here. The eyes of Bayan, the master of Tianyuan Hall, gradually turned blood red, and his tongue was trembling crazily while speaking. Soon, his tongue was broken, and strands of blood flowed out from the corner of his mouth. The awareness at this moment is in place instantly. The mood is depressed to the extreme. As much as you don't want to admit it, reality is reality. Reality, you don't need to admit it. Many times, you feel dissatisfied, so what? In the end, couldn't he just grit his teeth and bear it? Ah! Don't. Don't do that. Do not kill me. I'm useful. I'm still useful. I can help you control the entire Tianyuan Hall. Let me go. I was wrong, and I will never dare again. Don't kill me. Please. Really. This is too scary. I can't hold it. I'm going crazy. I'm going to die. Fang Fan. There is not much enmity between you and me. We can work together. Bayan, the master of Tianyuan Hall, was talking and then nodded and bowed frantically. At this moment, the sense of panic swept over the place, and then it was impossible to control the chaotic heart. I want you, what's the use? Waiting for you to rebel. If Rage God's contract still has a contract opportunity, it is not impossible to contract a quasi-god. It's a pity, the Rage God's contract magical skill has reached the cooldown time again. How do you say this thing? This should be the so-called bad luck. If this is the case, then you can only bear it. There's nothing you can do if you don't want to bear it. Facts are facts. Kill. Fang Fan yawned and said calmly. It is very realistic to cut grass and roots. Ah. Fang Fan. I hate you. I will curse you. Even if I lose my soul, I will never let you go. Ah. Ah. Click. Bayan, the head of Tianyuan Hall, fell to the ground, and then he couldn't make a sound anymore. It's numb, and it's cold. Pretty much, that's it. Such a pattern, laid out. It's true. Very safe. The owner of Tianyuan Palace, Bayan, was already dead, and the remaining young people of Tianyuan Palace looked at each other, and then suddenly became panicked, shaking their bodies from head to toe. We surrender. We dare not. Leave us alone. We don't want to confront adults either, we are all innocent. Woo, woo woo, we don't want to die, we don't want to die. Let us go, let us go. I beg my lord. We are all willing to serve the Lord. Very smoothly, they all kowtowed and confessed. The more he yelled, the more upset he seemed. But so what? In the end, it can only be followed by extermination. Cool moonlight, who can I talk to? Far-fetched. Who is this far-fetched for? The situation of a dead end has been opened up smoothly, and there is no need to continue talking about the remaining ones. I understand everything. Involved in place, as stable as Mount Tai. For a while, the corners of the mouth were as effective as before, and the mentality was extremely calm. Tianyuan Hall, 1. Ding. Congratulations to the host for successfully occupying the first palace and being promoted to the third-rank Mansion Master. Complete the second phase of the task Grand Plan Overlord. Ding. The second phase of mission rewards will be issued, the host's cultivation will be increased by 3 levels, and all legions will be increased by 1 level. Ding. The host's cultivation base has been successfully upgraded from the 4-star pseudo-god realm to the 7-star pseudo-god realm. Ding. The Blood Shuro Legion has successfully promoted from the 8-star pseudo-god realm to the 9-star pseudo-god realm. Ding. The remaining 9 legions have all been promoted to the 8-star pseudo-god realm. Suddenly, Fang Fan felt extremely comfortable. This feeling of opening and hanging is really too graceful. The picture in front of him gradually unfolded, the stream of consciousness, sprinting wildly. For a moment, the feeling and everything trembled. 7-star pseudo-god realm. This feeling of divine power spreading all over the body is really different. It feels very comfortable. Call. A great harvest. Divine system of the strongest card supplier in the end times, Doomsday strongest card supplier. Author, Shuyu. Chapter 4225. Fang Fan followed to experience it, and immediately fell in love with this feeling. The whole body is extremely unobstructed, who doesn't like it? If you don't like it, isn't that a fool? Normal people will experience it deeply. Whom can I tell the taste of it? Unusual. Really unusual. The top 10 legions under his command have already born a 9-star pseudo-god realm legion, and there are 9 8-star pseudo-god realm legions. 9-star pseudo-god realm, Blood Azura Legion. Then if you use the legion's exclusive skill Legion Unity to increase 2 levels, what level of combat power will you have? The 9-star pseudo-god realm goes up 1 level, and it is the quasi-god realm. Could it be that the quasi-god realm is still going up? Will this be true? Gudong. No. Impossible. In one step, possess the power of a true god. Fang Fan trembled. Of course, in fact, it is still in the theoretical stage. As for what the future will evolve into, it is especially clear. Master. 6 heroes came over. Galen was the first to walk over with a trembling body, his face was extremely rosy, and he was also very excited at the moment. That kind of mood and feeling, after experiencing it a little bit, it will be extraordinarily graceful. Impermanence of life. Just relax. If you stabilize, you can take off, if you stabilize, you can be graceful. My lord, we have broken through to the quasi-divine realm. We all automatically condense the Godhead. As long as the divine fire is ignited, we can achieve the realm of true gods. Galen walked back and forth with the big sword on his back. As she was talking at the moment, the joy in her eyes was beyond words. Naturally, that feeling could not be expressed clearly in a few words. For a while licking his lips, he walked forward habitually. That sense of joy is something I can tell no one else. Not only Galen, but also the little mages Vega, Daji, Caitlin, Kyle, and Jax. The heroes were all smiling, standing in front of Fang Fan at this moment, the joy on their faces was hard to lose. 6 quasi-gods. I didn't expect that you guys achieved the quasi-god position first. Good, very good. Fang Fan nodded, looking very satisfied. Hung to Bay, this mission is actually just started. Hold it well, and you can continue to improve. Fang Fan groaned, and then glanced at the task. Ding. The host's determination to develop a great cause has been detected. Now issue a series of missions for Great Plan and Dominance. Mission Introduction: the host gradually expands his territory and achieves the highest position. The task of the first stage: be promoted to the 5th rank Mansion Master, occupy the land of a mansion. Reward: the Master's cultivation level will be increased by 3 levels. All legions will be raised by 1 level. Completed, the reward will be reissued later. Second stage task: promote to the 3rd rank Hall Master, occupy the land of the 1st Hall. Reward: the host's cultivation level will be increased by 3 levels, and all legions will be upgraded by 1 level. The third phase of the mission: promote to be the Master of the 1st Class Banner, occupy the land of the 1st Class Banner. Reward: the Master's cultivation level will be increased by 3 levels, and all legions will be upgraded by 1 level. The fourth phase of the task, not updated yet. 2 stages of tasks have been successfully completed so far. The third phase of the task is the Master of the 1st Grade Banner. Afterwards, I can increase my combat power by 3 levels. At that time, I can also jump directly to become a quasi-god. Hiss. This temptation is too much. Fang Fan licked his lips, thinking to himself. The gleam in his eyes exploded accordingly. All of a sudden, all kinds of rhythm awareness and so on, all exploded. Thoughts are in place, everything goes without saying. At the moment, it is moving mountains and seas according to the established direction. Stimulate the moment, basically can follow as steadily as Mount Tai. Almost, it is in accordance with this rhythm consciousness. The refreshing feeling is also condensed. Pretty much, that's it. I understand everything. It doesn't make any sense to say more about what you don't understand. Once the experience is in place, that's fine. Above Tianyuan Hall, is the Blood Demon Banner. Climbing to the peak step by step. It's quite interesting. But for the time being, it is true that I have to rest for a while. Don't act too hastily. The owner of the Blood Demon Banner, Tang Suand, is said to be only in the quasi-god realm, just a slightly stronger godhead and quasi-god realm. But so what? I have 6 quasi-divine powerhouses under my command. These are not things at all. The 6 heroes are now in the quasi-god realm. Even if Tang Suand, the owner of the Blood Demon Banner, is powerful, he can't beat 6 against 1. Of course it's impossible. The main reason is that above the Banner Master, only the envoy is left, and above the envoy is the so-called Vulcan. This step by step, I have to follow Tong Tien. Hiss. Following this trend, one can imagine what it will evolve into. Everything, full-blown. Whispering voices followed, and the facial expressions were unpredictable. Thoughts are flying in place, feelings are especially real. For a time, the experience was particularly far-fetched. Gradually, I couldn't control my thoughts at all. In this mess, it feels like there is no focus. Little by little, the mentality was completely suppressed. This scene is deeply touching. For a while, I really couldn't speak. It felt like all the words were suddenly silent. It's almost the same state of mind and feeling. Gradually, they all became numb. A few days later, the Blood Demon Banner, in the central hall. Tang Suand, the owner of the Blood Demon Banner, frowned. Looking at the delivered battle report, his brows could not help but frown, and his expression changed, showing extreme displeasure. Why did it all end up like this? Hateful. Has Tianyuan Hall been usurped? Humph. The master of the Tianyuan Palace is really a waste. It was actually killed directly. However, if this is the case, the impact will be really bad. And it will also affect the next tax. Counting it all together, I have to turn over a large number of faith beads. The vacancy in the Tianyuan Hall, do you have to pay for it by the owner of the banner? Go back and ask someone to clean up this Tianyuan Hall. In Tianyuan Hall, there can be some small frictions, but large-scale wars must not be held. This is followed by turmoil at every turn, and the impact is too bad. And the protracted war will have an impact on those believers' belief in Vulcan. If this is the case, the impact will be too great. Tang Suand, the owner of the Blood Demon banner, groaned, thinking to himself, his eyes gradually fluttering. The thoughts are in place, and the rhythm is directly contained. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 4226. The Banner Master Suand is so leisurely. At this time, there was a sound that startled Tang Suand, the owner of the Blood Demon banner. Who is speaking? Get out. Looking for death. How dare you play tricks in front of the banner owner? Tang Suand, the owner of the Blood Demon banner, had a gloomy face, and then roared. The Suand banner master's apparent temper, is that big? From the looks of it, do you want this envoy to be cut into 8 pieces? Laughter comes naturally. Immediately a white figure appeared in front of Tang Suand. Mystic, my lord. Why are you here? What wind brought you here? If you have anything to do, just send a few people over to talk about it. How about it? How about letting the envoy of God go there personally? Tang Suand, the owner of the Blood Demon banner, swallowed a mouthful of saliva, and then hurried forward to flatter him. This is the real boss. How can this not be flattering? Tang Suand, the owner of the Blood Demon banner, took a deep breath, and while talking, couldn't help but began to nod and bow. His eyes flickered, his posture was in place, and the whole person fell silent a lot. For a while, I felt more and more messy. That feeling, that gesture, all show the present moment, and there is nothing to say. For a moment, his thoughts were in a mess. The more I think about it, the more I fly. There is one thing that is more important, so this divine emissary must come over for a while. 7 flags have been run, and you are the 8th here. Take a good look at this picture scroll, and be sure to find this young man. This man is of great use to His Majesty the Vulcan. Oh, by the way, this guy's name is Fang Fan. The god of worry yawned, and while talking, his eyes flickered slightly, and then his whole body was full of soreness. For a while, I was completely intoxicated. Taking a look at it this time, it seemed inexplicably lazy. After a wave, it feels very real. This appearance is ordinary. My lord, what's the use of having this picture scroll? Is this disguise technique difficult to learn? Furthermore, any existence of a false god can destroy his own face at will, and then reshape it with flesh and blood. So, it's useless at all. Tang Suand, the owner of the Blood Demon banner, opened his mouth, and couldn't help but say a few truthful words. To be honest, what should be said or what should be said? Otherwise, this thing is almost a little unclear. It's a mess, it's endless. It feels like a sand sculpture. Thoughts are in place, consciousness is messy, and that's about it. Just pay more attention. I can't find it, and I can't help it. This Fang Fan is the person His Majesty Vulcan is looking for. A god envoy seemed very casual. His Majesty Vulcan said that if he can find this Fang Fan, he will be rewarded with a divine head. A divine fire. In addition, you can stay directly at the altar for a month. In this way, you will definitely be able to advance to the true God realm. How? Temptation. A god envoy looked at Tang Suand, the owner of the Blood Demon banner, and said indifferently. Gudong. Tang Suand, the owner of the Blood Demon banner, swallowed a mouthful of saliva in a hopeless manner. Immediately, his eyes turned red. This wave was really pleasantly surprised. Life is impermanent, the large intestine wraps the small intestine. Are there so many benefits? In an instant, it exploded. So exciting. I can't help it, it's really normal. Fang Fan, Fang Fan. Why does this name feel so familiar? Wait. I did hear that name. Tang Suand, the owner of the Blood Demon banner, became agitated, and as his eyes rolled, he couldn't help licking his lips frantically. If this wave is well grasped, the benefits will be endless. After a wave, he will be able to smoothly advance from the quasi-god realm to the true god realm. Who can resist the temptation of the true god realm? For a while, his complexion gradually turned red. Fang Fan's name, as the name suggests, is very ordinary. It's normal for you to have heard this name before. His Majesty Vulcan said that this Fang Fan should have appeared only recently. Before this, it had never appeared in God's domain. It seems that he ascended to God's domain a few months ago. Don't you see that the temptation is too great, and you can't hold it in an instant? Why is this? You take care of yourself. The god of worry raised his eyebrows and said indifferently. He is now purely to complete the task, he does not think there is any hope of finding a needle in a haystack. Although the price and rewards offered by His Majesty Vulcan are very attractive, so what? Attracting people is attractive, what should be done in the end, and what should be done? The pattern or something must be stabilized, and there must be no wandering. Otherwise, something will happen, something big will happen. Once the rhythm can't break, there will be turmoil in here. This thought gradually followed a lot. There are thousands of thoughts and thousands of feelings. Gradually, it has been reminiscing here. The aftertaste is endless, quite soul-stirring. If you experience it silently, you will have everything. Deep feeling, everything goes without saying. It's called Fang Fan. My lord, the master of the Tianyuan palace under my command has been killed, and the position of the master of the Tianyuan palace has been usurped. The one who usurped the position of the master is Fang Fan. The person who can usurp the position of hall master must not be a common man, but before that, I have never found any information about him. I have never heard of this name, which just fits the argument that he only appeared a few months ago. This person seems to have appeared out of nowhere. My Lord Envoy, how can there be so many coincidences? This Fang Fan must be the Fang Fan that His Majesty Vulcan wants to find. My Lord Envoy, I found it. My Lord Envoy, next, what should we do next, how should we do it? Go directly to Tianyuan Hall and take down this Fang Fan. My Lord Envoy, why does His Majesty the Fire God insist on offering a huge reward to Fang Fan? Is there something wonderful about this Fang Fan? My Lord Envoy, I'm a little curious. Please God Envoy sir, don't hesitate to enlighten me. Tang Suand, the owner of the Blood Demon banner, licked his lips, took a deep breath, and his eyes flickered. While talking at this moment, I couldn't help but lick my lips. The mood gradually became excited, and the thinking also expanded. For a while, the picture in front of me suddenly rotated, and suddenly I couldn't control it at all. Up. Gradually, mentality and so on have also undergone some changes. This, I don't know too well. It seems that there is some secret involved in this Fang Fan. Don't inquire about the matters above. If your prediction is accurate, then your true God position will be stable. The god of worry looked at Tang Suand, the owner of the Blood Demon banner, and said, Divine system of the strongest card supplier in the end times, Doomsday strongest card supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 4227. Really? Really? Thank you, Master God, for cultivating it. Ruo, our Ruo subordinates really have such a chance in the future. I will never forget the kindness of the envoy. From now on, Lord God Envoy will be the reborn parents of the subordinates. In the minds of my subordinates, God Envoy has the supreme status. Boom. Bang bang bang. Crazy prostration. His complexion turned extremely red all of a sudden. Tang Suand, the owner of the Blood Demon banner, had difficulty grasping the passion deep in his heart at this moment. As he spoke, his whole body was trembling crazily. The future will be in full swing. Can you not be excited? Excited heart, trembling hands, only by experiencing it personally can we understand the wonderful artistic conception. Every time, you can be promoted to the real God realm at any time. For Tang Suand, the owner of the Blood Demon banner, this is probably his greatest wish in his life. At this moment, with his eyes flickering, the whole person could no longer control this unique emotion. The more I think about it, the more crazy I become. For a moment, he frantically swallowed his saliva. Immediately, the footsteps moved forward without stopping. Gradually, self-control is completely lost. It was as if he wanted to completely wipe out everything in front of him. Overall, that's pretty much what it feels like. So real. The temptation of the true God realm is indeed not something ordinary people can feel. It's too early to thank you now. A lot of things are still unclear. As I said just now, the reward can only be issued if you ensure that this Fang Fan is indeed the Fang Fan that His Majesty the Fire God is looking for. Otherwise, it will be nothing but fetching water from a bamboo basket. The key is to look at your own performance. This kind of thing, I said, it doesn't count. A God Envoy took the opportunity to tap and said, yes, this subordinate understands. But the subordinates have an extremely strong premonition. It won't go wrong. You must trust me. Otherwise, let's hurry up to Tianyuan Hall and arrest this Fang Fan. In case he gets wind of it and runs away. Tang Suand, the owner of the Blood Demon banner, couldn't wait any longer. While speaking, he kept licking his lips, for fear of any delay. You, don't worry too much. At this moment, the more anxious you are, the more likely there will be some accidents. You must be aware of this point yourself. You yourself, think about it carefully, and temper the thoughts in your heart. As for the Tianyuan Hall, we must go there. What did you say? It's better to kill the wrong one than to let it go. Since you are so sure, then go and have a look. Let's see what it will look like in the end. Whispering voices followed, and the eyes glowed brightly, and bursts of suppressed consciousness swept across, and for a while, his thoughts completely emptied. Gradually, inexplicably, it is horrifying and tingling. Such thoughts, let alone talk to anyone. Follow God's orders, my lord. My lord, don't worry, I will definitely handle this matter properly for you. I will definitely not disappoint you and your Majesty Vulcan. Tang Suand, the owner of the Blood Demon banner, felt that he was full of energy. Thinking about it this time, the infinite radiance burst out on his forehead. Stimulate. This wave is really exciting. Tang Suand, the owner of the Blood Demon banner, swallowed a mouthful of saliva, his eyes fluttered, and he couldn't control the rhythm at all, thinking about rushing forward crazily. That feeling, that taste, exploded in an instant. Exciting, exciting indeed. At this moment, Tang Suand, the owner of the Blood Demon banner, feels that he is doing it again. I feel that my future will flourish again. I feel that the road ahead has been brought up again. Use all the soldiers and horses with the blood evil flag. Follow the owner of this banner, to the Tianyuan Hall to eradicate the evil thieves. Kill. 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 Hesteri's roar followed, his eyes suddenly became vicious, and while roaring at this moment, his complexion became more and more trembling. Tang Suand, the owner of the Blood Demon banner, feels that he has reached the pinnacle of his life at this moment. Who can compare with yourself? Who else? Who else? Want to die? Come here and kill you in minutes. The entire Blood Demon banner became restless at the moment because of the order of the banner owner Tang Xuand. From time to time, there will be a wave of explosions. For a moment, inexplicably giving people a sense of shock from the heart. This time the melody broke out completely, almost, that's all. Feeling, gradually rising. Fang Fan, who was in the Tianyuan hall, was thinking of recuperating for a few days, but then he heard the news. Master, Tang Xuand, the owner of the Blood Demon banner, is a ruthless person. He is much stronger than the previous Tianyuan hall master. Even if it is 10 Tianyuan palace masters, they are definitely not his opponents. Master, at this moment, but, you must not slack off. Master. We still have to make a decision early. Owner. Diao Zheng, the head of the Yugzu mansion, immediately became flustered, and immediately started nagging in Fang Fan's ear. What I said at this moment has almost the same meaning, that is, the enemy is very powerful, and the blood evil flag is invincible, let Fang Fan prepare to flee quickly. Otherwise, if it develops in an all-round way according to the current trend, sooner or later there will be many changes. After thinking about it, this feeling is naturally not so pleasant. Thousands of thoughts, messy consciousness, that's about it. So Tang Xuand, the owner of the Blood Demon banner, is also a godhead quasi-god realm. Is this, really strong? Fang Fan smiled. If he didn't even have this pattern, why is he still so high profile? The 6 heroes under his command are now all in the quasi-god realm. The Blood Shuro Legion under his command, the 9-star pseudo-god realm. If the Legion's exclusive skill Sura Unity is used, it's unknown what will happen. In addition, there is also an 8-star pseudo-god realm Legion. These are Fang Fan's bargaining chips. Is it really difficult to kill Yuki? Fang Fan licked his lips, thinking to himself, his eyes gradually shone with a different kind of brilliance. What should come, always follow. In the end, everything was slaughtered and wiped clean. So, it happens to be a waiter. It also saves me from going all the way to the Blood Fiend banner. I wanted to take a good rest for a few days, but now I'm fine, I don't need to rest at all. One time, everything is wiped out. Don't make any troubles. If you want to court death, then come all of them. Come all of them. Just right, you can pierce this bubble directly at once. Fang Fan squinted his eyes and thought so far, his combat power is infinite. Can you just take the opportunity to push yourself? Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 4228. Ah! Master, you still expect him to come. Master, you are so confident. Diao Zheng, the master of Yugzu Mansion, subconsciously swallowed a mouthful of saliva. At this moment, he licked his lips, and there was a trembling feeling all over his body. Excited hearts, trembling hands, experience consciousness, gradually rising. At this moment, all kinds of tastes and feelings suddenly burst out. Almost, everything is in place. In the heart of Diao Zheng, the master of Yugzu Mansion who surrendered, the current Fang Fan is no longer a human being, he is clearly a beast. Horrible. Terrible. As soon as he glanced over, his whole body was trembling. The trembling hands of the excited heart became numb after a deep experience. This wave, you can still say a hammer. Completely, I can't control it, okay. The waiting time is destined to be tormented. In the past few days, Fang Fan has been spreading out some spies, trying to find traces of Bai Piao. Or, find Xiao Xiao back. But the spies he sent out were like disappearing into the sea, without any trace at all. Can't see anything, can't feel anything. Invisibly, it makes people feel desperate from the bottom of their hearts. That consciousness was instantly suppressed to the extreme. Bai Piao, Xiao Xiao. Where did you all go? Stop playing hide and seek with me. Fang Fan opened his mouth and sighed silently. Now, there is no one to talk to. There is something hidden in his heart. There are many things hidden. Tormented, he couldn't control the peace in his heart. Whispering to himself, the whole person seemed to be immersed in it and couldn't extricate himself. Gradually, the experience is profound. A few days later, the army of the Blood Fiend banner arrived. Hao Tang Tang, inexplicably gives people a sense of oppression deep in their hearts. The army of millions moved forward bit by bit like ants. For a while, thoughts fluttered in place, and the rhythm was suppressed. Feeling seemed to be difficult. The road is far away, I don't know what to say. More or less, that's it. Coming. The time has come. Fang Fan didn't have any fear on his face at the moment, on the contrary he looked extraordinarily calm. As if everything was under his control. According to the step, the progress of the task of great plan and dominance can be refreshed again. Well, this can be. Fang Fan led the people over directly, and the smile on the corner of his mouth was very real at this moment. This wave is destined to bring more surprises. Fang Fan let out a mouthful of turbid air, thinking to himself, his thoughts suddenly exploded in Tu's mind. According to the current experience, feel a more graceful future. So, perhaps it is more worthwhile to experience. It's him. It's him. The same. That's right. My Lord Envoy. Did you see it? He looks exactly like the picture scroll you gave me. That means it must be him. He is the person His Majesty Vulcan wants to find. Whirring. My Lord Envoy. Gudong. The posture of swallowing saliva was fully displayed, and for a while, the eyes were full of excitement and excitement. This attitude is completely out of control. Directly, it took off. This wave, what else is there to say? It's too exciting. Tang Suand, the owner of the Blood Demon banner, felt his whole body trembling. This wave, how can I hold back that kind of mood? This time, it went straight away. Float. The more you think about it, the more exciting it is. The more I think about it, the more excited I get. For a moment, all the rhythms are fully fluttering. Such a heart, burst out with the trend. That's it? That's pretty much it? Your kid's luck, it's not bad. But it's nothing, just take care of it. For the rest, don't think too much about it. For the time being, that's it. Go and take him down. It's best to capture them alive. Although His Majesty Vulcan doesn't ask whether he is dead or alive, His Majesty Vulcan will be happier if he can attack a living one for His Majesty the Vulcan. The God Envoy Wu groaned, and then guided the way aside. God has made your lord speak with reason. This subordinate will do it. My Lord Envoy, wait for a moment, I will immediately go and capture this Fang Fan alive. It's impossible for him to escape from our grasp. He's dead now. I can't escape, I will definitely die. Gudong. Tang Suand, the owner of the Blood Demon banner, rolled his eyes, thinking to himself, his thoughts burst instantly. This wave, how can I hold it? Equals. In an instant, it exploded. Stimulate. And true. Isn't this experience what you want? Happy. Cool batch. Tang Suand, the owner of the Blood Demon banner, seems to have seen a bright future waving towards him. Coming. It's really here. Excited heart, trembling hands, once you experience it, you will know the beauty of it. For a moment, his whole body was trembling. Take off. Take off directly. Follow the established direction and find your own destination in life. You are Fang Fan. Did you kill the master of Tianyuan Palace? Then you should know who I am. Tang Suand, the owner of the Blood Demon banner, raised his head and chest, and said arrogantly. I know who you are and what you do. Do you have anything to do with me? Unless you are the owner of the Blood Demon banner. A wicked smile appeared on the corner of Fang Fan's mouth, and then he said with a smile. Boy. I am Tang Suand, the owner of my Blood Demon banner. Even if you have some eyesight, kid. How about this, you kid, come here, kneel down in front of me, and if I take you prisoner, the banner lord can temporarily spare your life. Tang Suand held his head high and held his chest high, while speaking, the arrogance on his face was beyond words. This is a special idiom. Listen, how do you feel? Listen, what does this express? I haven't done anything yet, just let you come and kneel down, huh? What do you want to do? Without any effort, everything was crushed and everything was harvested. This feeling is relatively refreshing. Thinking of this, doesn't the whole body feel comfortable? From Tang Suan's point of view, he felt that the final result should be like this. There can't be any accidents. This is the fact. Very confident. Oh. You are the owner of the Blood Demon banner. That's fine. Killing you is considered to have completed the task. The Blood Fiend banner will be mine from now on. The position of the master of the first-class banner is also mine. Fang Fan licked his lips, and while talking, a strange light flashed in his eyes. Advance in an all-round way in accordance with the established direction. Immediately, torture and kill all dissatisfied. One wave is in place, the feeling of refreshment, etc., are all pushed into place. The taste in it, let me tell you. Stimulate. Excitingly real. Step by step forward. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 4229. Your courage is really great. Much more than I imagined. You clearly are looking for a dead end. Since you want to die, then the Banner Master will fulfill you. Send troops. Kill. Tang Suand, the owner of the Blood Demon banner, stretched his waist with a calm expression on his face. He didn't think any surprises would happen to him. Accident. How could there be an accident? Isn't all the situation under his control? The rest have no qualifications to join in. Whoever dares to intervene will die. This kind of mentality is here, who can compare with it? Boom. Rumble. Boom. The ground shook suddenly, and for a moment, it was inexplicably horrifying and disturbing. Taking a deep breath at this moment, looking at this particularly terrifying scene, the whole person fell into a wave of ignorance and couldn't extricate himself. Wanting to say something, but being unable to speak, that taste and feeling is the most confusing. The army of millions of blood evil flags has begun to move. That scale, that formation, is unparalleled. So strong. So strong. This. Gudong. Owner. Yuan Hanlin's complexion changed drastically. He took a deep breath at this moment, his eyes flickered, and he couldn't utter a word. His whole body was shaking gradually, his thoughts were in a mess, and the rhythm was suppressed to the extreme. At this moment, the trembling feeling in the depths of the soul is very real. Brother Fang Fan, although you have been going smoothly all the way, but this time I'm afraid you really encountered a crisis. Brother Fang Fan, be safe, be safe. Brother Fang Fan, the current situation is a bit collapsed. Brother Fang Fan. The posture of gnashing teeth was fully displayed, and for a while, the eyes gradually became dim. His expression was unpredictable, his thoughts were restrained at the moment, and a burst of vomiting consciousness came, and his whole body completely collapsed. Too difficult. Is it possible to stop it? I can't control it at all. Collapsed. It just collapsed. The more I think about it, the more irritable I become, and the more I think about it, the messy I become. At the same time, completely trembling. At this moment, the swarm of bees feels like this. Lu Dalong has followed Fang Fan over these days, and he has gained more knowledge and experience. Naturally, his own vision has also improved. If he encounters ordinary situations, he won't feel too much up. But this time, he couldn't help exclaiming, he couldn't help feeling deeply. He couldn't help shaking. Tough guy. He's been a tough guy all along. But so what? In this extreme situation, even the so-called tough guy can only be a dead end. Deep down, the sense of despair, heavier. Gradually, the lock is not in place again. Confused, with nothing to say, nothing to say. Gradually, all sounds were locked. Fine. Brother Lu, don't worry. Such a difficult road, haven't we all walked it? What does that matter now? You know, when we first raised our troops from Filongjai, you were the only one in the pseudo-god realm, Brother Lu. Now, hasn't it changed? Brother Lu, just stand with me in peace and watch a hardy battle. There are a lot of enemies this time, so it may take a little more time to solve them. But it's okay, the final result will not change in any way. Fang Fan shrugged, and while talking, there was a strange light in his eyes. Fully advance in place, comprehensive containment in place, where the passion erupts smoothly. Those who should come will follow. Pretty much, that's it. At this very moment, I was more and more surprised. When the million-strong army of the Blood Fiend banner was still a certain distance away from Fang Fan, the 8-star pseudo-god realm's destroyer artillery corps couldn't bear it anymore. They are long-range strike forces. The whole legion is just such a cannon. But now the caliber of this demigod cannon has reached 100,000 millimeters. 1,000 millimeters is equal to 1 meter. This is the caliber of 100 meters. Needless to say. Now just follow along and experience it a little bit, and you will understand everything. This wave, confused. Really confused. How strong is a 100-meter caliber gun? Now there is a deeper experience. Emission. Boom. The 100,000 millimeters caliber Mi-Shen shells are starting to show off. This power crushes some dissatisfied. For a moment, everyone felt extremely trembling. Immediately. Crazy devastation, people feel death and madness. That piece, just disappeared. The middle part of the million-dollar army, seems to have been hollowed out. Those enemies didn't even utter a scream, and then just died like that. Can't die anymore. Looking at the past at the moment, the eyes are full of desolation. That kind of heart seemed smooth and numb. Ah! Devil! The attack of the devil is coming. Run! Run! I'm going to die. This time I'm really going to die. Run first. Attack quickly. It's too scary, I can't fight it at all. All dead. All dead. Ah! Ah! Run! Run! How many people died? At least 100,000. 100,000. At least 300,000. It feels like more than half the casualties. What kind of attack are they doing? Why does it feel stronger than a divine punishment under Vulcan's crown? Stop talking, what the hell, haven't you been convinced yet? Hurry up. Go. Run. Run. Ah. Ah. It's so painful. Don't want to. I don't want to experience this, Let me go. Let me go. Get out. Get out. Hysteria's roar followed, and the soldiers of the Blood Fiend banner suddenly became terrified. All the consciousness of fear is directly messed up at this moment. Roll. Get out. If you can't control it, you will face death. The power of that shot shocked Tang Suand, the owner of the Blood Evil banner. He licked his lips and felt that his lips were very dry for no reason. At this moment, his eyes flickered and his lips twitched. For a moment, I couldn't say anything, I just felt trembling all over my body, shaking my head. For a time, the eyes were full of confusion. The meaning of numbness, let alone talk to anyone. The sense of experience is really bad enough to burst. I can't explain clearly, let alone explain clearly. What's the situation? Why is it so powerful? What happened to the truth? Speak. Speak. How many people were killed or injured? What about the data? Quick. Report it. The gesture of gnashing teeth suddenly gathered together, and for a while, his complexion became extremely cold. Tang Suand, the owner of the Blood Demon banner, roared, and at this moment, like an ant on a hot pot, he started to wander around without reason. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 4230. 300,000. Banner Master, one shot. 300,000. 300,000 brothers, just gone. It's miserable. It's really miserable. Master Banner Master. 300,000 dead, including the injured, must have exceeded 500,000. Call. In an instant, half of the combat power is gone. I've never fought a battle like this. Master Banner Master. The other side is really perverted. Can't beat at all. Master Banner Master, it's still running away. Master Banner Master. It's really too dangerous. Let's go back first, discuss countermeasures slowly, and take a long-term plan. The general of the Blood Evil banner was paralyzed at the moment. While talking at the moment, the body couldn't help trembling with madness. Excited heart, trembling hands, only by experiencing it personally, can we feel the crazy mood. Thinking of this, the whole person fell into waves of numbness that he couldn't extricate himself from. Gradually, mentality and everything were completely contained. In the end, even the most basic self-determination ability is not there. In the cool moonlight, I feel inexplicably sad. Too difficult. At the moment, there is an unlimited desire to vomit in my heart. Thinking of this, the whole person is about to collapse. It's all damn it. Hateful. It's really disgusting to the extreme. Can't you just control the rhythm a little bit? It's terrible. Impermanence of life. Experience nuance. Call. Go back. Ha 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 ha. Where are you going? I can't go back anywhere. You don't understand. You don't understand anything. Sooner or later there will be major changes. Many things in here are exploding. All-round explosion. This Fang Fan must be captured today. No matter how much you lose, don't be afraid. Fight. Continue the bloody battle. If something is really damaged, I will compensate you. What I said is enough. Ah. You should know what I mean. I hope you don't let me down. At all costs. War. Bloody battle. Hysteria's roar followed, and Tang Suand, the owner of the Blood Fiend banner, was talking, and the corners of his mouth trembled wildly. That extremely tyrannical mood and will took advantage of the trend and broke out. The more I think about it, the more unusual this feeling becomes. Gradually, it seemed that everything was going to be locked, completely locked. Ah! Still, still fighting. Really, really want to continue to attack. My lord, something big will happen. Our blood fiend banner's wealth will be wiped out. My lord. I beg you, take it back. My lord. I beg you, think about it for our brother. Grown-ups. Boom. Bang bang bang. The posture of kowtowing was fully displayed, and for a while, the whole person fell into infinite responsibility and guilt. For a moment, blood and tears ran rampant in his eyes. What the general of the Blood Evil banner said was the truth. After this cannonball went on, 300,000 people died, and more than 500,000 casualties, and a few more shots were continued. This shows what? This shows that this thing is not on the same level at all. If you forcefully fight against it, you will only suffer endless humiliation. Thinking of this, the feeling of aggrieved followed by a full-scale attack. Gradually, I couldn't say anything at all, it was so humming difficult. Impermanence of life. Didn't you hear what the banner owner said? Or, did you do it on purpose? All on purpose? Ah. It's useless to talk to you so much, right? Asshole. Asshole. You're looking for death. You're looking for death. The posture of gnashing teeth was fully displayed, and the eyes gradually became blood red. While talking at this moment, all kinds of wills were completely suppressed, as if to completely wipe out everything in front of him. That feeling is completely numb. Going completely insane again. If you can't control it, it will boil all over. If you feel it after a wave, it feels quite exciting. Gradually, I couldn't say a word at all, that taste, that feeling, I felt very high. If you can't control it, you will be completely cold. This wave, what else is there to say? Master Banner Master, why on earth do you have such crazy obsessions? Why did you have to kill this Fang Fan? What good will it do you if you kill him? Furthermore, this subordinate doesn't mean that he won't be sanctioned, but just retreat for the time being. We think of some other strategies. You can't just stay in this numb state forever, can you? It has to be, there must be some other strategies and methods. Is such a fearless sacrifice really meaningful? If this continues, it will only make everyone suffer, very painful. Master Banner Master, you have learned a lot. Master Banner Master, it's impossible for you to not even see this clearly. Why can't you give the brothers some way to survive? Brothers have followed you all the way, even if there is no credit, there is still trouble. Master Banner Master. Even if I beg you for everyone. Boom. Bang bang bang. As the general knelt down on the ground, many cultivators of the Blood Evil banner around him also knelt down on the ground. Their inner world is relatively simple. Simply want to fully implement in place according to the established direction. After a wave, the feeling or something is quite intense. Gradually, the experience is not in place at all. My mind was full of thoughts, my consciousness was confused, and gradually, my brain was buzzing and trembling. It's really, nothing interesting. Good. Mix well. When did you learn this trick? Ah. Do you want to force me in this way? You don't naively think that I will be frightened by you. Ridiculous. Extremely ridiculous. You guys are still too naive after all. The Banner Master wants to ask you one last question. Are you willing to directly lead the troops of the headquarters to launch an attack? Tang Suand, the owner of the Blood Demon banner, had a cold face, with a murderous look in his eyes. Master Banner Master, please give us a way out. Snapped. Roof. Tang Suand, the owner of the Blood Demon banner, slapped the general in front of him on the head. Suddenly, the general's head was completely shattered like a watermelon exploded. Bright red blood splattered all around. For a moment, all of these became numb and crazy. Life is impermanent, the large intestine wraps the small intestine. Want to experience something different? Is it possible? After a wave, it is completely unclear. Death is the final outcome. Those cultivators of the blood evil banner around looked at each other, also stupefied.